when you're spending time on the practice green working on a technique, we're obviously focusing quite intently there on the way we move the putter, whether that's to control the shape of the stroke, the start line, the speed, whatever it might be. And those aspects are all crucial because the better the stroke you make, the easier it is then to transfer that to the golf course and just focus on did we get the speed right. When it comes to being on the golf course and trying to hold putts, I think sometimes you can actually just kind of try and dial more in on those instinctive feelings and almost start to go back a little bit to how you probably would have played when you were learning the game and you weren't overly thinking technique. You're a bit more reactive to the hole, like you would be if you threw a set of car keys to somebody or something to organise paper bin. And this little exercise here is a really simple one. It just taps back into some of those instinctive, reactive, free feelings that mean we can maybe move away from getting too bogged down in technique and actually just get into the physical act of trying to putts. So when Rory McIlroy won the Open at Hoylake in 2014, I remember hearing him say in his press conference afterwards that he had one thought for putting for the week, and that was he was just going to try and roll the ball over a spot that he had kicked on the green. Now, I think this is a really simple way to free yourself up when you get onto the golf links because we're moving away from anything technical and we're getting into the act of roll the ball over the spot. So throw the keys to the person across the ball. So this exercise we've created here is really simple. We've got an anchor putt slightly uphill, maybe a couple of right to left break. I've got a little white ball marker on the green here just to indicate to you where my spot is. Now, maybe just over a foot in front of the golf ball. I think you don't really want to be any closer than a foot to the ball because it's hard to see if you've hit it or not. And maybe any more than 2 or 3 feet away, and potentially the ball's then started to break, so that could get a little bit confusing. So I think a foot to 18 inches is probably the window where you want to try to just pick a small blemish, or just pick something on the green that gives you a focal point to aim into. And when we could, practicing this on the green, I think it's a good way. Highlighting the spot with a ball marker can be quite nice because it's very obvious. Yeah, it's quite stark against the colour of the green there, so we can start to think, right, let's really focus in on that point. Now, as I said, the putt here, I've read the putt already. I've aimed the line on my golf ball, which is something I would do as part of my routine on the golf course. All I'm going to do when I come into the putt now, sit myself in behind the ball, my hands set there. Right, putter faces to so I'm going to go over my spot, up to the hole, let my eyes linger on the hole. So let's come back to the ball. My whole thought now is about rolling over that spot. Now, I can hear the ball roll over the middle of the ball marker there, so I'm going to be pretty certain I've hit my line. I know start line was good. And it tells me that my read and my pace were good, so I've got feedback there on all aspects of the stroke. But ultimately, the beauty I think of that as a starting point is my intent for that stroke was roll it over the spot, and I did that. And I can live with it if I've read it wrong or got the pace wrong. I think that's very simply putting's version of pulling the wrong club on a par 3, or misjudging the wind, or not appreciating how the ball's going to come out some rough grass at the side of the fairway. There's skills you can then go and develop, but focusing on that one simple aspect I think can be quite freeing. Really just get you back into the physical act of, well, I'm trying to make a putt here, so let's just try and hit the ball all over that spot. Let's just get into the act of making more putts. Like I said, I remember when I was learning to play the game when I was younger that my friends and I would spend hours on the putting range just trying to hold different putts, and I never once thought about the length of my stroke or where my putter face was or any of those things. Now, I've got a better putting stroke now than I did when I was a kid because I've thought about some of those factors, but equally trying to find a nice blend of being aware of my technique and getting into the physical act of holding putts, I think it's a great way to free you up, particularly if you feel you've maybe got overly technical or are thinking too much when you're over par on the golf course. So I'd encourage you when you go onto the practice green next time, find some putts of between 8 and 10 feet, wander around them, read them, pick your point, and then think, right, where would I need to roll the ball over for it to break the correct amount into that hole, and maybe poke a little team-neck hole into the green or put something down if you can see the ball roll over it. Practice that as a skill and try and transfer that to the golf course. Like I said, when you go to play golf, the key is to try and hold more putts. So going directly to the source of a little exercise and a little feeling there might help you hold more putts. I think can have real benefit, just free you up next time you go and play.